Hello there, guys, and welcome back to once again another live stream here on the Divine Eye Racing YouTube channel. I am accompanied by Mr. Ali House in the comments box. Welcome, Ali.
Welcome, mate. How are you?
I'm doing pretty fine myself. Just came back from vacation, so I'm all. How do you say that?
Refreshed.
Refreshed. Anti-stressed out. So yeah, I'm all good. How are you yourself? How have you been?
I'm all right. I need a holiday. So, yeah, maybe my turn next.
Where would you want to go, mate? Hopefully not Zandvoort.
No, not Zandvoort. Mind you, Holland's lovely. I wouldn't mind going to Holland. Holland's a beautiful country. Personally, for me, I need some proper sun. So, might hit the Greek islands or, I don't know, somewhere hot. Just somewhere hot with some sun.
No, fair enough, mate. I've just been to Croatia, so it was quite sunny there. I was actually sweating my balls off while being in the city.
Oh, Croatia's beautiful.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Oh, I love it.
I do have to say,
historic country, amazing buildings in Croatia, absolutely amazing.
That's correct. I do have to say, I like Bosnia and Herzegovina more than Croatia.
Yeah, Bosnia's lovely. Bosnia's lovely.
Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, Switzerland, I love. Done Switzerland. Poland is another lovely country. Maldives is obviously a place I love. But my plan is not this year, but next year we are jetting off to New York for hopefully Christmas. So that should be an amazing one.
That is lovely, mate. New York is a nice city. It is a nice city. I've been there twice already, and I'm not gonna say I liked it the most out of all the cities in the United States, but it's definitely up there. It's definitely up there.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking for me and the family for Christmas, New York will be amazing. I've done Vegas by myself, and that was interesting, shall we say? So, yeah,
we don't need any details, I think.
Yeah, I won't go into details of that. But yeah, I think the clock is ticking down, Thomas.
Yes, 100%. So it is going to be Zandvoort tonight in the Netherlands. What's your opinions about Zandvoort? Because we have different opinions, don't we?
We do. You hate it. I love it. It's a Marmite track, shall we say? I love it. Personally, for me, I think it's a driver's track. You know, if you're not on the ball, shall we say, you're going to get caught out. So it's not like driving around Monza, which is as boring as hell in my eyes. It's a driver's track. I like it, but as you say, we have different opinions, and you hate it.
Well, hated is a word that I don't like to use. And here's the thing
Dislike.
why. Dislike. I don't like it. I dislike it for racing. I like it for qualifying though. So I'm actually thinking about having Zandvoort as a qualifying track for King of Leagues, which is an event that I'm holding. So the qualifying is beautiful because you really have to nail the track to perfection to be able to put a good lap on board. Some tracks like Austria, you can make little mistakes and it almost has no effect on your time. But I feel like Zandvoort is those kind of tracks where you need to nail every corner in order to be able to compete with the other guys because they're going to be doing the same.
So that makes it a driver's track. And what we haven't got tonight is qualifying. We've got a one shot and a sprint and a race, and the times already ticking down, ready for the one shot. So let's see what happens. Also, weather-wise, weather can throw up something, but certainly for one shot, it looks like it's going to be clear and dry for one shot. So for this, Thomas, take it away.
Yeah, 5 more seconds here in Zandvoort tonight. A one-shot qualifying, like Ali has already said, as that is going to be determining the position of the sprint race. Of course, we're going to go on board with Al Shakel, one of the top guys in the in the Drivers' Championship, actually, going into turn 1, hard braking zone, a little bit of a U-turn into second, into third, And then we're going into fourth, into turn 2, into turn 3, fast left, right-handed. And then we've got that bankered corner into turn 4. And then we've got turn 5, 6, and 7. Some quite fast corners here. Entering sector 2. We need to put the track map on, of course. Turn 7, this fast right-hander. Need to watch out for the curb on the entry and the exit. So you don't want to clip those too much. Then heading into turn 8 and 9. Don't touch the curb too much because you will be shooting into the gravel. Then we're going into turn 9 and 10, of course. 10, a very long left-hander. Good overtaking opportunity, I do have to say that, with a DRS right afterwards as we're heading into sector 3 right now. Turn 11, 12, and 13. Quite of a difficult corner section. Fast on the throttle is what's going to give you some speed coming through turn 13, turn 14, and 15. 2 fast right-handers, and then we have got the DRS straight. And then we've got a lap around Zandvoort. So El Shakel is probably going to come across the line in P2. And yes, indeed he is. Beautiful lap from the Williams driver. And he's got his teammate right behind. We are not seeing the favorites in the top. Wait, where is Kev the Slice?
They're not here. He's not here. He's not here.
That is a surprise. A big surprise.
He's not here. I was actually watching the gap between the top 3 as you was commentating through that there, Thomas, and there was no change whatsoever. So they're pretty static. So Bobo again, and we've mentioned him the last couple of weeks, have we not? All of a sudden, Bobo for the last 2-3 weeks he's shot up in performance, absolutely shot up in performance, and also my old teammate as well, AP. Had a nasty second sector, but there was a few bends there at the start. He was actually topping the timing sheets, but nasty couple of sectors for him has shot him back down the grid massively. Jay Dennis, I think, is a big shot down in P13. We know the pace that Jay Dennis has got. Nico John's up there, Divine Eyes up there as well, as we should naturally expect. But I believe there's a couple of top runners missing out of here, and certainly one of them is Kev the Slice. And I'm sure there's another massive runner
Donghinga.
as well.
Donghinga isn't there either.
Donghinga, that's the man. So we've got no Kev the Slice and no Donghinga for this race. So this really opens up opportunities for other guys a bit further down the field, Thomas.
Yeah, I do have to mention, I do have to say that you mentioned Jay Dennis not being where he should be all the way in P13. He hasn't been there for the last couple of weeks, so I think he kind of misses the flow of racing and the flow of being on track again, and I think that might reflect in his qualifying today, but we might be seeing him gaining a lot of positions during the sprint race and the race, as he's a very natural driver. He's got a lot of pace. During a race, he doesn't necessarily drop pace during a race. Sometimes you see drivers who are losing concentration, losing focus, and that is something we don't see with Jay Dennis. So hopefully he's going to be able to reflect his good pace from the last couple of weeks before he wasn't there back into this Zandvoort race.
Yeah, I totally agree. Jay Dennis is kind of a guy that sort of grows into a race, and may show signs of a little bit of insecurity in the first few laps, but certainly does grow within the race, as we do have the formation lap is on. I thought we had it disabled.
I do think we have it disabled. We should have it. Yeah, we should have it disabled. Let's say it like that.
But it is on, so we're gonna have to go through it. With Bobo in P1 from Al Shakel and Bartofa in P3. So the Williams put themselves in very, very strong positions in P2 and P3 respectively. Tyre-wise,
this is not going to make you happy.
Can you show?
It's already on there. It's already on there.
You've got it on there. I'm not looking at it. So let me view. They're not going soft, surely.
They are. Almost everyone.
No. Why? Well, where's detail? Did have tyres? Why are they going soft? Wow. I am shocked. So, personally, for me, if Redoubts and Divine Eye in the top 6 have clean races and don't get caught up in any instance, I think they will come out on top. The softs don't. I can't understand it. Honestly, I cannot understand why these guys are gambling on going softs. 12 laps around Zandvoort on a set of softs is not going to work. From a racer's point of view, a driver's point of view, this is not going to work. So we'll see how it pans out, but as they're all lining up on the grid, Thomas, I shall let you take over for the start of the sprint race.
Thank you very much. I mean, one little mention that I do have to say, Redoubts in P4 is, in my opinion, one of the craziest things I've seen during this qualifying already, because he is, I'm not going to say only in P10 in the Drivers' Championship, but he is in P10 in the Drivers' Championship, and then to put himself in front of Nico John, in front of Starry, in front of Olaber Richie, who are, I think, all over Richie in the top 10 too. We've got Nico John also being in the top 10, but we have got 5 red lights here in Zandvoort. It is going to be the sprint race though, but that is also very important points for these guys. Bobo starting in pole position, and we've got 5 red lights, and away we go, going into turn 1. Bobo has a really good start. Al Shakel keeping the position from his teammate Bartofo around the outside, tries to close down the move from Redoubts as he gets up into P3. Redoubts still around the outside, but the Bartover is going to keep that position for now. Nico John around the outside of Redoubts. We do have to take in mind that Redoubts is running those medium tires, so he's going to be a little bit slower. He's going to lose a couple of positions possibly. Divine Eye still in P6 with Waza right on his tail. Currently in P7, Waza on those soft tires. And then we've got a couple of position changes at the back of the grid. Let's have a quick look with the position changes. Someone has dropped a lot of positions. That is possibly Ziad with Cable Monkey.
Ziad and Cable Monkey have had a little bit, I think, of coming together, but all in all, they are through. Although there is quite a gap between, I believe, is it?
Divine Eye is out. Oh, Divine Eye is out. Sorry for interrupting.
What happened? Is he out or just
no?
spun?
No, he's spun,
he's
but
fine.
all the
He's
way.
He's still going.
But for a sprint race, it's not ideal, though.
Did have a yellow flag, but obviously that is now distinguished. I thought he was out, and we've got that's a Haas pitting. Cable Monkey's pitting. It's not a Haas. It's a what? Who's pitting?
Alfa Romeo, Cable Monkey.
Oh, he's an Alpha, and he's serving a time. No, he's not serving time penalty. He's getting a wing change. So maybe that's the contact you were talking about earlier, Thomas. Between Zayed's out. We've got VSC. Zayed is out.
Yeah, turn 3 possibly took too many curb down the inside of turn 2, and that is gonna shoot you into the wall into turn 3, which is quite unfortunate, of course. But it's the risk you're willing to take as a racing driver, trying to gain back some time to the guy ahead of you. I think he was right behind Expedito, if I'm not mistaken. And, you know, I mean, these guys, they're trying to push. And as I said, this is why I don't really like racing around Zandvoort, because you're trying to push too much and you're going to be making mistakes. It's going to cost safety cars, it's going to cost VSCs, and that is making the race rather slow than a fast, what it should be on a track like Zandvoort.
Yeah, and obviously we've got a first VSC tonight as well, which is going to help the soft runners. They can save those soft tyres a little bit of trail braking, save the wear on those tyres, keep the temperature up as well. But we still got to look at Redoubts. It's in P5, and you know, don't count him out, because I think come the end of the race, if he's got a clean race and the cars ahead of him having a clean race as well, Redoubts is certainly going to be challenging for higher positions or the feature race, which we will shall have straight after this race, of course.
Oh, and he gets some drive-through penalty.
Oh no! As I say that, commentator's curse has struck, and I'm sorry, Redoubts, but the commentator's curse has struck you, my friend, and that has pretty much. Oh, that's so harsh. That is so hard. because that's now going to put him totally out of contention and probably off the top 10 position. So it's probably Jay Dennis now we're going to be looking at, the highest medium runner. So all the soft guys have got to do is keep these tyres under check, which is not going to be easy, especially around, for example, the final bend where you can really start to lose the rear end if those rear tyres are going, if those soft tyres are going, sorry.
As we're now looking at the top guys, Bobo and El Shakel, another yellow flag. Who is that going to be? It is going to be a Red Bull driver, AP. No, it's Blue Dark, is it?
No, it's Blue Dark. It's Blue Dark. Yeah, it's Blue Dark.
Blue Dark spun, dropped all the way to P16. El Shakel going onto the curb, very risky. He's getting attacked from behind by his own teammate, the Barto, for almost losing the car there in P3. As it is going to be a very feisty battle for P2 now, as both the Williams drivers, of course, want to be on the top, on the front row of that race start during the race. And Bobo seems to be having a lot of pace here around Zandvoort, has already taken a lead of about 1.2 seconds. You might want to go to the middle of the pack, as Jay Dennis is on the tail of Ishii. The Mercedes driver definitely trying to catch up to the Ferrari driver, and I think he's going to have a good shot down to straight. And Jay Dennis, Ishii going onto the curb, he's going to lose the position too, thanks to that. And Jay Dennis just says, thank you very much.
There's been a reset track by Blue Dark as well. I just saw, I just caught it on stream, reset track by Blue Dark. He's had one spin and then he had, on the first spin he resets track, on the second spin he didn't. Blue Dark in my old car, so come on man, don't ruin it. Don't ditch my car, man. He's off again, as I say, he's in the gravel again. Blue Dark's having absolute horrid time in my Red Bull. Please look after it. It's my little baby, look after it, please. Don't look after it, take my position, I'll race for you. Let's go. No, I'm joking. But yeah, out in front, Bobo's looking comfortable. Bobo is a man possessed in his last 2 weeks. You know, how many times have you commentated, Thomas? When I was racing and wasn't in comms with you, and Bobo was struggling and down the field. All of a sudden, these last 2-3 weeks, he's the man. He really is a man to look for in this division.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say he was struggling. He was driving around P5. But I mean, of course, today we don't have Tong Hinga, we don't have yourself, we don't have Kev the Slice. And if you put those guys in front of Bobo, he would already drop to P4. So can you really compare him now being in a battle with the Bartolfo?
You can, because Bobo could, on his day, can take the race to anybody, and he's doing it now. You know, he's taking the race to these guys now. You know, if I'm sitting on this grid now, or in this race now, and I'm near him or whatever, you know, you got to look at him. He's jumped. No matter how you look at it, he has gained performance within the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, without a shadow of a doubt.
Here comes Nico John down the inside into turn one. Is he going to be making a move? Goes a little bit too deep, a little bit of wheel touching there between the both of them. El Shakel still down the inside into turn two. Nico John is going to give the position for free. El Shakel takes the position into P3 again. Nico John is making it very difficult for El Shakel to keep up with his teammate, as the Bartolfo now caught up to Bobo in P1. As it seems like the Bartolfo is the one to gain one position in the top three. The rest of them either, stayed their position or lost one. And we've got Waza gaining 3, Lobo Richie gaining 3, so not bad at all. The Bartolfo, he's possibly going to have the DRS down the straight. They're entering sector 3 at the moment, coming through turn 10, heading into turn 11. And is it going to be an opportunity for the Bartolfo? Possibly. The DRS is very strong coming into the long straight, and he will possibly be making a move into turn 1.
It's probably going to be a move, Thomas, to be fair, for P1 by Bartolfo. I mean, it's an obvious move. He's close. the positions there. Bobo's trying to defend it, but it's not an easy move. It's not an easy move. Bobo's defending it. It's not an easy move, but Bartova, I think, is just, or is he? Bobo's come back. Bobo's defending it. This is what I mean. I think Bobo's running slightly higher downforce, which is defending him in the bend. And for race strategy, if that's what he's running, it's certainly going to play a part. That's for sure. But the man on the move at the moment, and I've been watching the time screens, the man on the move at the moment is Jay Dennis in P7 on a set of mediums and hunting down soft runners.
Yeah, as we said, Jay Dennis, he gradually improves during a race, and that is what we are seeing today. Gained 6 positions already, only in 8 laps, so that's only almost a position per lap, as he's looking to make a move on his own teammate, Oliver Ritchie, who's glitching a little bit all over the place. But we might be able to see that change down the straight. Jay Dennis, who's going to have the DRS, will make the overtake on his own teammate. I think it would be a bit foolish of Oliver Ritchie to not make to not let his own teammate go through. The Bartova now takes P1, as you can see in the front of your screen. I mean, on the top of your screen, here comes Oliver Ritchie. He has a little bit of a tap with the McLaren driver. Jay Dennis down the inside. He's going to shoot it from far, far away. And they're still side by side. Is it going to be the McLaren driver giving up the position? It does look like he didn't want to take any risk. As the Red Bull
only
driver
thing
did.
is, which I have noticed, Thomas, the only thing is Joe Dennis has ditched ERS. So his car is blinking, which is not going to be of benefit to him. So Ola Ritchie needs to let Jay Dennis go. There's such a pace difference. He needs to let his teammate go, and he's not letting his teammate go. And I'm watching this, and I think Ola Ritchie is not playing ball, shall we say, and Jay Dennis will be screaming in that helmet of his car.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if I were his teammate, I would just give him a little, I mean, I'm not going to say a little tap, but I would definitely, weave a little bit down the straight maybe, letting him know that.
He's just done it now. Jay Dennis just giving him a little weave saying, come on, man, let me go. And Ola Ritchie is not letting me go, but surely this is going to be a pass down the straight now. But saying that, if that does happen, we do have a match, and it does happen. But Ola Ritchie's not making it easy. He's fighting it back. Ola Ritchie's fighting it back. Man, come on, work as a team. Like, come on, lads. It's a team game, yeah? You're 6 seconds behind the next car in P4, which is Nico John in the AlphaTauri. And obviously, Jay Dennis has got the pace out over Ola Ritchie, and Ola Ritchie did not make that easy for Jay Dennis at all. So I'm sure Jay Dennis will not be happy within that Mercedes garage whatsoever.
No, he might, it's a sprint race anyway, so he might give him a little bit of a text saying, can you give me that position next time? Because this was not nice. We're losing time to Nico John while we shouldn't have lost time to Nico John. And now, as we're talking about Nico John, looking to make a move on El Shakel, and it's going to be the first time he's entering the top 3 here in the sprint race. And what has happened there? The Williams driver in the wall, Nico John, who's going to let him go through again. I think he gave him a little bit of a tap on the rear. And Nico John, what is he doing? What is he doing? Why is he letting everyone go through?
He's got smash wing. He's letting people go, surely.
He doesn't have a wing damage.
He hasn't. I don't quite. Nico John, just look at him. No, he hasn't. I don't know.
Maybe he's trying to avoid the penalty for the actual race. Because he crashed out El Shakel, and then he's letting everyone go through to say, oh, but I let everyone go through. Please don't give me an actual penalty in the actual race. That is going to be more points lost than you would lose here.
Of course, there may be a driver that puts him in the stewards or another driver, but Do you know what? That's actually very clever thinking from Nico John, because yes, he may screw up his sprint race, but come the actual feature.
Oh, he's left. What has happened there? I can't hear you anymore, Ali. I'm not sure if you're there. But let's focus on Bobo and the Bartofor.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can right now. I can right now.
You can. Okay. He's disconnected. Nico John's. His car's ghosted. His car's ghosted. He's got issue about to come past him. Nico John's disconnected. He's disconnected.
Not 100% sure, mate. So let's focus here on Bobo and the Bartofor as they're heading into the last sector of this sprint race. The Bartofor on the tail of Bobo, as it seems like Bobo is blinking. The Bartofor still has a little bit of ERS in the tank. He's gonna drain everything coming through the bank corner, and he's gonna make the move. He's gonna make the move down the inside. Goes to Bartofor, and he takes the race win here in the sprint. The Bartofor putting himself in P1 for the actual 36 lap race here in Divine Eye Racing. And let's have a quick look here at the back. Waza looking to make a move. El Shakel is going to take that position from Divine Eye. Here at the back, Tiago possibly making the move on Nico John.
No, Nico John's disconnected. He's going to lose. He almost lost another position to Tiago. Nico John disconnected. He dropped down 3 positions. He definitely disconnected from his car. But look at Jay Dennis. Has come from nowhere up to P3 on the set of mediums. The mediums was the tyre to go on if you have a clean race. Like, imagine somebody started in P4 on a set of mediums, had a clean race. There you go, Jay Dennis, driver of the day. Imagine P4, P5, and Nico John's just rejoined, so that's confirmation he did get disconnected. So imagine a driver in P4 on a set of mediums, clean race, he would have won that race. So Jay Dennis running on those mediums certainly has proven mediums was the tyre to go on. Driver of the day up to P3 in the sprint race, which I totally agree with.
Let's have a quick look with the standings here in during the sprint race. The Bartofor taking the race win in the sprint race. Bobo in P2 and Jay Dennis in P3. Further, we've got Olawa Richie, Starry, Waza, El Shakel, Divine Eye, Ishi, Nico John, Tiago, Dito, Redoubts, Brass Monkeys, AP, Cable Monkey, Blue Dark, and Ziad all the way at the back of the grid. He has DNF'd, unfortunately. And I've got a little bit of an information. Apparently, Starry ran out of fuel at the last 50 meters.
Oof. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's possible. I mean, you can underfuel a little bit around here if you go aggressive. Oh, and that looks overcast. That looks really overcast. Could we expect some rain to throw up some drama here at Zandvoort, which, to be honest, is not out of the question at all.
No, we're also very close to the sea, so I'd say all that rain that's coming from the sea, it's going to be heavy rain too, because, I mean, whatever rain that comes from the sea isn't heavy, right? No, but strategy-wise, what are you saying?
Mate, that's raining. That's spitting. That's spitting with rain. I can see it. That is... On my screen, I can see a bit of rain. And I had this last night, funny enough, and I thought I saw it, and then I said, no, I didn't see it. And then 2 laps later, it come in. For me, that is, if not slightly spitting out, or is going to rain in the next few laps. Honestly, I think I can see it. I think that rain's going to come in. So we need to have a look for sure. I don't know if anybody watching or any drivers watching can give us a bit of weather information, but certainly I would not put rain out of the question here at Zandvoort.
So what would your strategy be? Would it be starting on the softs, or would you still take the risk to go onto the mediums?
Well, as it stands now, I'd probably I'll be on mediums. You can get the mediums fired up so fast, you know, like the soft medium comparison isn't too much. Zayed's just joined, so we've got a few guys disconnecting. I would certainly be starting on mediums, and if the rain comes in, you know, just go with it and go with your strategy. Change your strategy. Go on to the inters. Run the mediums a bit longer if you dare. But yeah, I'll be on mediums as it stands.
Starry in the chat says overcast but no rain. Jay Dennis says cloudy all race, but definitely could be rain.
Yeah, it's looking. Yeah, if there's no, I'll be honest, if there's no inkling of rain, if the game's not saying okay, there's a bit of inkling of rain, then I don't think it will. It'll probably be overcast, so we might not see any. But here we go. Take it away, Thomas.
I'm just gonna have a quick look with the standings. Weekend. 1 second. I'm looking at the weather forecast. If it's so the perfect the forecast accuracy is perfect. So if it says it's cloudy, it's gonna be cloudy all day because the what perfect does is it exactly tells you what weather it's gonna be, and when that is not perfect, when it's the other thing, I'm not sure what the other thing is realistic.
So is it on perfect?
Yeah, it is on perfect. So it's going to be dry always.
Right. It's not going to rain then. If you have it on approximate, then it might be cloudy, but rain could kick in. Or if it says rain's going to kick in at the end of the race, it could start halfway through the race or at the beginning of the race. So if we've got it on perfect, then it's what the game says, and there will be no rain, and we're going to have a dry race, albeit overcast.
Correct. We're looking at two hard tire runners. The Bartofor being on the hards in P1. He's possibly going to get overtaken by a couple of guys during the beginning of that race. And then we've got Redoubts being on the hard tires in P13. So really looking forward about what he's going to be able to do, because he's got a couple of guys on the soft tires behind him who are possibly going to be able to make that move on both Brass Monkeys and Redoubts. So I think what Brass Monkeys has to do is try to get his best racing out, keep the soft tires behind him, and then let Redoubts run away. Also, the guys on the soft tires, Divine Eye, Nico, John, Tiago, are looking to gain a couple of positions during that race start. Also, Bobo, Jay Dennis, Olawa Richie are possibly going to be looking at making an overtake on the Bartofor, but how long can the Bartofor keep these hearts working? Putting the pace in the hearts.
That's the thing. I mean, I think Bartofor, clever choice going on the hards. He's going to have threats from behind. I think Redoubts, I don't know. He's going on the hards, wants to try and make some positions, but I don't know. I just think he's got more pace in that car, and I don't know. I just don't think we see how it pans out. Take it away, Thomas. The lights are about to go.
Zandvoort around 15, round 14, not 100% sure. We've got 5 red lights, and away we go. The Bartofor going underway. He's got a pretty decent start, but Bobo looking to go down the inside, and he does indeed go down the inside. A little bit of room has been given by the Bartofor, as Bobo seems to be going around the outside. Now is the inside line, but cannot take that overtake. Jay Dennis still in P3. And we've got Olawa Richie still in P4. El Shakel gained a position. Also Ishi gained 2 positions. Waza lost 2 at the back of the grid. We are looking at Redoubts gaining a couple of positions, even being on the hard tires. Then Divine Eye dropping back all the way to P16. Bobo still in the tail of the Bartofor, heading into Sector 2. As it seems like she's really on the tail, pushing, trying to get back into P1. Bartofor, of course, being on the hard tires, he's going to be a little bit slower at the beginning of the race. He will have the benefit at the end of the stint. But Bobo has to make that overtake as soon as possible with Jay Dennis right on his tail.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look further down the field at the moment, and there's a massive battle between P12, 13 and 14 from Readout, Zayed and DePito, and who else is in the AP? There's a massive battle. Now it's kind of common. And there's a collision there from guys behind. That was Cable Monkey and AP coming together as Bartofor sets the fastest lap of the race, as we should expect from P1.
Zayed now made the overtake on Redoubts again. Zayed gaining 7 positions. He started in P18. Now also AP making the overtake on Divine Eye. It seems like there's a yellow flag in Sector 1 that is going to be Blue Dark and Cable Monkey. And there's a heavy battle for P1. The top 3 is within 2/10 of each other. Bobo on the tail of the Bartofor. And also Jay Dennis trying to find his way around both the drivers ahead of him. As they're heading into Sector 2, a very difficult sector to make the overtake, but Sector 3 and of course the start-finish straight gives you a good a good opportunity to make the overtake. Jay Dennis now on the tail of Bobo. Here he comes, 2/10 behind the Ferrari driver. Will he be going down the inside? He won't be going down the inside. Turn 11 is a very difficult one to make the overtake. Yellow flags at the back of the grid. That is going to be the Alfa Romeo driver, if I'm not mistaken, Cable Monkey. And it seems like Bobo is losing a little bit of time to the Bartofor. Jay Dennis going too much onto the curb. And he lost a bit of time too. Olawa Richie now going down the inside. That the Mercedes boys are having a battle with each other again. And that's making them lose time to the top 2. Oh, yeah, and at the back, Starry making an overtake down the inside of El Shakal. Here he comes. And no damage has been done. A little bit of tapping, but should be all good. El Shakal takes that position again. The Starry not giving up, but I mean, he's got to give up some point at some point.
Yeah, I don't quite know what these Mercedes guys are doing, to be honest. They're batting each other like crazy. They did it in a sprint race as well. You know, work together and pull yourself towards the guys ahead of you. They're too aggressive with each other. And I think if I'm honest, it's probably from more Ola Richie's side more than Jay Dennis' side. But these guys need to sort it out if they're going to pull anything out of this race, because the Bartofa still in the lead on those set of hards, obviously got them fired up, is certainly currently in control of this race.
And as I'm looking at the position changes, Zayed currently in P8. He's gained 10 positions since that race start. And he's currently on the tail of Ishii, and he's possibly going to be making the overtake with the use of DRS and ERS, but he's already drained all of the ERS he's got. And Nico John in the middle of the both of them, and he makes the overtake. He goes too deep. Oh, look at that, Ishii. Losing a position to Zayed, but Nico John, it was looking like he was going to be making a two-way overtake down the middle, but he kind of gave up. He went too deep into the corner. And he lost those 2 positions again, unfortunately. It's looking like a very heavy battle at the top 2. It is indeed. Bobo still right behind the Bartofor. And I think this I do have to agree with you. This is the lovely thing about Zandvoort. You cannot make the overtake very, very soon. So you have to stick behind someone for a long time. And that's what's making the close racing look good.
Yeah, it's not an easy track to overtake, and if you go for an overtake in the wrong position, you're going to end up putting yourself off into the gravel or the grass. So these guys have got to play it, play it careful, especially Mercedes guys who, to be honest, at the moment are, there's certainly no team orders coming out from that Mercedes garage, shall we say, as Bobo has taken the lead for P1.
Richie now looking to make an overtake on the Bartofor. It's a 4-way battle. That is a lovely thing I do see about these guys. But the good thing that the Bartofor is doing, because of the battling happening at the moment, El Shakal is able to catch up. So he's only 1.7 seconds behind at the moment. And he's bringing a couple of guys with him, including Zayed, who is caught up to P6. So will he be doing a last to first challenge?
No, I think Zayed tyres are going to go off. I think starting on those softs is probably the wrong move. Give it a lap or two, they're going to die off, and expect Zayed from El Shakal to drop off. But I'm surprised that Bobo has taken a lead at this stage of the race, if I'm honest. I'm surprised Bartofa hasn't managed to keep hold of that lead, although he is massively within DRS now, so expect to see maybe a switch down the straight now, Thomas.
Bartofor, here he comes down the inside, and I think Richie, if he had a good exit coming around the last corner, he would have been able to catch up to Bobo and possibly made the overtake with the use of DRS down the straight, but he decided not to. Also, Nico John looking to make an overtake on Ishii all the way in P8 and P9, but let's go back to the front of the pack, as it is the Bartol leading the pack to victory. There's still 30 more laps to go, though, so still many things can happen. And Bobo might be one of them, making the overtake pretty soon here in Sector 2. He's really pushing. And let's talk a little bit about dirty air here around Zandvoort. Is that something that you experience as a driver very heavily, or not really around Zandvoort?
Yeah, dirty air around here is horrible. You're close to somebody, you're gonna be scrubbing your tyres off. So this is where probably Bartova wants to keep the medium runs behind him as much as he can do, but obviously at the same time they are going to have a little bit of out-and-out pace against him as well, as we're coming down the straight as well. There's a bit more of a gap this time, so maybe Bartova can hang on to it. But what Bartova needs to look at, as Bobo does retake the lead, what we do need to look at for Bartova's point of view is, we're 7 laps into this race, and we're going to be getting close to switchover point now. So if Bartova can't make these hards work, then it's going to be clear to these guys that the mediums can go that little bit more, and it'll probably be worth running the mediums a little bit longer than what you would do on a set of hards, because you can still keep the mediums fired up.
Yeah, it looks like Bobo is trying to run away outside that 5-10 gap on the Bartova, as Ritchie is definitely pushing the tail of Bartova at the moment. Jay Dennis looking to make an overtake again on his own teammate. These Mercedes boys have been making it each other too difficult already. They're making it each other more difficult than they're making it more difficult for the other boys on track.
Yeah, they are. I mean, the two Mercedes guys just need to, get their heads screwed into the race. Come on, lads, don't fight each other, work together. You're both P3 and P4. Work together, pull each other along, and work for those constructors points, and just see how the drivers pans out towards the end of the race. But Bartova, I don't know. He just seems to be a little bit struggling. Maybe he's going through a little bit of a horrible graining phase on those hards, but those hards will certainly come back to him. And by no means he hasn't been left by Bobo, so he's certainly still within that window where he needs to be. But I think he should be fighting Bobo a bit more, considering Bobo's on the mediums and Bartova is on the hards.
As we're talking about hards and mediums, it seems like, oh, there goes Dito going onto the curb and the grass a little bit too heavily. The Alpine driver making a move down the inside. Dito is not going to give up though. Back down the inside. Thiago trying to make his way around, but he's not going to be able to. And I wanted to say Redoubts made the overtake down the straight on Dito. Redoubts, of course, running those hard tires, wants to extend those hards for as long as possible. Let's go back to the front of the pack.
I've got to say, Thomas, as well, I've got to say that Zayed's in P5 less than a second behind Ola Ritchie on a set of softs. So I don't know how the soft runners, or how he's doing this, because Nico John's not doing it, but certainly Zayed is. He's kept those softs alive, and he's still right behind the top 4 guys. Zayed's not out of the question of this race whatsoever, and still keeping the softs alive. So certainly, maybe these softer tyres do last a lot longer around Zandvoort than what I was thinking, shall we say. But certainly, the medium and Zayed's now there as well. So he's right on the back of them. Look, he's right there with them, and he's pushing. He's pushing Ola Ritchie. He's asking question marks of Ola Ritchie, and we might even see Zayed now coming into play down the DRS straight for positions ahead of what he's currently got. So Zayed Ritchie doing an outstanding job on those set of softs.
Yeah, especially being on the soft tires. You want to extend them for as long as possible. So you're gonna try to not stick directly behind someone because of the dirty air, your tires are gonna wear out rather faster, and you don't want that to happen. So we see him now taking a 5 to 6 tenth gap to Olawarichi, and I think that's the perfect gap for him to still stick on the toe and have that DRS down the straight, but still have good tire wear going through the race. As we might want to go on board with Jay Dennis, who is caught up to the Bartofor at the moment. Look at that, look at that. Will he be able to make a move? DRS wide open here through this little straight, but of course not a straight good enough to make the overtake. As it seems like there's a couple of battles happening at the back of the grid. Cable Monkey and AP currently in P17 and P18, but the guys here in the top, well, on the top of the grid, are going to be going into the straight at the moment. Here they go. Down the straight we go. Nobody seems to be making a move. Oh, and a late move from Bobo. As it seems like the Bartofor is getting attacked from behind. Jay Dennis almost making the overtake, but he had a little bit of a snap. And there's a little bit of a question.
Yeah, I think Bartofa has gone through a horrible phase on those set of hards, and now they're starting to come back to him. I think Bartofa, as it stands at the moment, for race strategy, is in a very strong position.
Yeah, also because he's got the fastest tire at the end of the race. He can basically do anything.
That's what I mean.
He can even extend the hard tires to go on the softs at the end of the race, because as you can see, Zide being on the soft tires, because I mean there could be a late safety car.
There could be, but if there is a late safety car, then everyone's going to be ditching in for a set of softs anyway. So if I was Bartofa, I'd be running. I can probably guess what he's running. He's going to be going hard medium, and do you know what? He can even match what the other guys are doing. So the other guys go in for their set of hards, and he goes in for his set of mediums, and just tries to pull that gap a little bit, and just manage a gap, and just pull that lead out. But Bartofa is looking very strong now, as these hards are starting to come back to him.
We've got a little question from Tutski in the chat. Thomas and Ali, do you guys think you always need to let your quicker teammate by, or are there moments you can battle a teammate, and when are those moments?
For me, it depends on the strategy you're on. If you're on the same strategy, then battle it out, and they are on the same strategy. So for me, this is fair game. So Jay Dennis and Ala Ritchie, for example, on the Mercedes, which I'm guessing he's talking about, it's fair game, battle away. If you're on totally different strategies, and the guy behind you, your teammate behind you, has come up behind you on a set of softs, for example, you're running around on an old set of hards, yeah, let them through. But certainly as it stands, Jay Dennis and Ala Ritchie in that Mercedes is fair game, and I don't think there should be any team orders coming out that Mercedes garage as we speak.
I have a little bit of a different opinion, but I'll tell that later, as we've got a very feisty battle here between the Williams and the Ferrari. The Ferrari around the outside has the inside line right now. Laura Ritchie, no, it's Jay Dennis trying to find his way past the Williams driver. Around the outside he goes, wheel-to-wheel racing between these two, and Jay Dennis is going to give up the position. Oh, the Bartofor look to make a move. Jay Dennis down the inside he goes. A very difficult corner to make the overtake, but it does anyway. Down the inside he goes. Oh, and they still have a battle. And now Laura Ritchie is trying to find his way around the Williams driver. Down the inside he goes. Very deep dive from the Mercedes driver. The McLaren driver inside is struggling on those soft tires. As you can see, he's sliding all over the place. Laura Ritchie making a move on the Bartofor, but there will definitely be a report on that incident. But to come back on the question, I have a feeling.
Just quickly, Thomas. Just quickly on that. I'm reckoning that. Do you know what? We've still got Zayed that's going on a set of softs, who's still with these guys, and Bartofa's stuck in a fight he doesn't want to be in. I think if Bartofa pitted now for a set of mediums, he would get out of this horrible cycle that he's stuck in at the moment, and he would then have about 2-3 seconds of lap time ahead of him by the time the other guys to pit. But Bartofa, although he's on the set of hards, could hold on. He's just let Zayed through. He just totally let Zayed through.
He had a little bit of a snap. He had a snap.
Oh, he's had a snap. So I reckon Bartofa, he could play so clever and box now and really shock these medium runners. But go back to what you were saying earlier, Thomas. Sorry.
No, don't worry. So, coming back to the question, I feel I'm gonna say, I'll tell you the moments where you shouldn't be battling with each other, and those moments are basically at the moment here now, being in P2 and P3. Oh, as Jay Dennis goes down the inside, making the overtake on Bobo. I mean, it's a different scenario, but we'll still picture them being in P2 and P3. Let's say Bobo was in P1.
I know what you're saying. They shouldn't be battling at this point in the race, because what's the point of battling each other? But they've both got points to gain. They're both on the same strategy. There's no reason why both of them can't be battling with each other. If they're on different strategies, yes. If the one's miles ahead of in the championship, yes. But at the moment, for me, it's fair game. Let them fight on track. It's racing. Let them fight.
I disagree, and mainly because
disagree, but for me, let them fight. It's racing. Let them fight.
I mean, when they're battling at the moment, when they would be battling at the moment, here comes Jay Dennis down the inside into turn 7. He was looking to make a move down the inside. But if you're gonna have a battle in P2 and P3 between teammates, Bobo is just gonna run away, and your whole strategy is fucked up.
Yeah, but that comes to team orders and whether the team orders come down the field. But as it stands at the moment, for me personally, both drivers have equal opportunities, so let them go ahead and do it. And if it becomes apparent that there's we got car off. There's a Williams. That's a Williams off.
Is that the Bartol 4? It is the Bartol 4.
He's off. He's off. Wow. Oh my God. Now that has totally changed the dynamic of this race.
It's coming into the pits. Bobo down the inside here in turn 3. As Jay Dennis takes the lead of the race. Oliver Ritchie with a very aggressive battle, I would say, as he kind of stepped the rear of the Ferrari driver, and now they're going side by side through sector 2. Has to give up that position again, and Elsie Gallis got up to the top 4.
Now if Alarici gets into P2, now is the time that team orders should maybe possibly come into play. Work together and pull the lead. But when they're sitting P3, P4, blah 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 blah, they've got a free rein to run, surely. Otherwise, if we pulled that whole restriction throughout the whole field, you'd just see cars in stalemates. I think if there's everything to gain, they should be free to race. If there's anything to protect, then there should be strategies coming into play. And we have loads of cars in the pits. Bobo stayed out. Bobo stayed out. Bobo has stayed out.
Oh, and the double stack from Mercedes. This couldn't get any worse.
But yeah, there you go. See,
why are they standing in the middle of the?
I don't know. Why are they sitting in the middle of the? Oh, what on earth is that? They're all sitting in the middle of the grid, in the middle of the pit lane. They have just lost
a lot of positions.
They've just lost about 4 seconds of time. They've just lost, all of them. What was that about?
No idea.
I've never ever seen that before.
Me neither, mate. Me neither. And we can't blame it on crossplay this time around because we don't have crossplay on.
No, that's not crossplay. That's literally game glitch. Something going on in those pit stops. But Bobo's the man that stayed out on those medium tyres, and so has Wazar. But bear in mind, Wazar is nearly 19 seconds behind Bobo. Bobo's got to box his lap. He has to box to cover off these lads this lap.
Look at that readout for the beautiful switchback. in Sector 3, entering Sector 3. As he's currently right on the tail of Divine Eye, and I think he's going to let him go through. Here comes Redabs, down the inside he goes. Divine Eye coming into the pits.
Bobo's in, but he's so slow out the pits as well. He's holding cars back coming out the pits. What is this game doing? Bobo, oh mate, comfortably in the lead. The amount of time Bobo's gained from the cars, you look, you've got Readouts and Starry behind him that haven't stopped, and Nico John that hasn't actually stopped on that pit stop neither. Jay Dennis did. There's about 8.5 seconds that Bobo has gained through that pit stop. That's a massive glitch.
It is a massive glitch. I just think the game couldn't handle that many people coming into the pits, if I'm being honest. You know, you had multiple double stacks, you had multiple everything, and it was just too much.
It's weird because it just stopped some cars like in the middle of the pit lane, and they were just sitting there doing nothing, and the drivers probably thinking, what the hell's going on here? And now all of a sudden they find themselves 8.5 seconds behind Bobo, who's net race leader.
Ziad, who's gone from the soft to the hards, currently in P7 as Redoubt seems to be coming into the pits. Bobo making the overtake on Waza. Here comes Ziad. Oh, a lower Richie catching up to the Bartol as the Bartol has gone onto the medium tires. Will he be lasting those till the end of the race?
I have totally lost you on communication, so I'm going to rejoin the call. Bear with me.
Let's go back to the front of the pack as it is Jay Dennis on the tail of Starry. And in my opinion, Starry shouldn't be battling too much with Jay Dennis. He's running a different strategy. But here he comes on the tail of the Alfa Romeo driver, and he's gonna let him go through. Jay Dennis around the outside. He's not gonna let him go through. Jay Dennis still around the outside. Here he comes onto the curb. And I think Starry is gonna make it very difficult for the McLaren driver. Zayed down the inside. He's gonna outbrake the Alfa Romeo driver. The Alfa Romeo driver outbrakes himself, but still keeps the position. And Zayed possibly lost a lot of position, a lot of time. Thanks to that, he's almost outside 1 second. He is indeed outside to 1 second. 1 second, guys. I'm looking at the chat. What is he saying?
Yeah, I'm looking at deltas as well. Bobo's delta is...
I've lost you, mate.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay, so I was just looking at the delta between Bobo and Jay Dennis from the same strategy they were on, but albeit one lap difference, and the gap is 7.6 seconds Bobo's gained from that pit stop. So oh man, the game's messed that up. It's messed it up massively. It held Jay Dennis, it held Zayed, and I believe it also held Bartofa, but Bartofa's dropped off of Zayed, which doesn't make sense. I can't quite work out what the game has done. And now Zayed's gone up to P3 and gained 3 seconds on my screen. Huh? I can't quite work out what is going on at the moment, but something is messed up with the lobby as it stands. Something's not right.
Here comes Zayed on the tail of Nico John. On my screen, everything is still fine though.
It's fine, but all of a sudden Zayed overtook a position and gained about 4 seconds in lap time in one bend, which I can't quite understand.
Did it look like that, or did he actually gain 4 seconds on Jay Dennis on the timetable on the interval?
I saw a jump. I saw a jump on the timings, which which I'm watching, and also in their car as well. There was a massive spike, and all of a sudden he's about 3 seconds ahead. So there's
side going up into P2, and I think Nico John has got the DRS2 because of the Red Bull driver. And the Red Bull driver, Blue Dark, is definitely not making it easy for these guys because, I mean, he's driving with his ghost car, and the other guys have to kind of guess where they have to brake and all that kind of stuff. So Zayed now 7 seconds to Bobo. And oh, look at that, Jay Dennis on the tail of Nico John. Well, Nico John chooses to go onto the grass, very, very risky. He takes the curve very heavily. Jay Dennis is going to wait. And it's going to be no opportunity for Jay Dennis to get around Nico John as soon as possible.
I mean, Jay Dennis was within, he was batting in Bobo. And they were within literally a second of each other. And now we find them over 7.5 seconds apart. You know, it's... I saw it. I watched it on screen. I've caught on my camera, albeit not recorded. But I've seen exactly what's happened, and there's a massive glitch for the cars behind, which actually has given Bobo this massive lead. But we shall have to see what the guys want to do about that as we now approach lap 23.
Yeah, as we're approaching lap 23, as you said, Diago and Ishii are having a very heavy battle at the back of the grid. Here comes Diago down the inside with the use of DRS, and Ishii, nothing he can do about that. Although he can do something about that, and that is braking later. Diago trying to go down the inside, but Ishii, who went late on the brakes, kept that position from the Alpine driver. Now Diago is still having to trail by about a couple of tenths.
Yeah, I still can't get over the issue that's happened, to be honest. And if I was, I should imagine, and we'll probably see it in the chat afterwards, I don't think the likes of Jay Dennis are going to be very happy whatsoever, because that's quite possibly a race victory, or certainly a very strong position. I mean, yes, he's P3 now, but I think he should have been battling for the lead, to be honest. And yeah, I can't quite see what's happened here, but something is terribly off.
The Bartover has just made the overtake on Nico John, and I think Nico John is feeling frustrated about this Red Bull car. It's blue flags for Blue Dark. You should let him go through, and he's not doing that. He's making it difficult for Nico John. Nico John, we saw him weave entering Sector 3, letting Blue Dark know that, you know, back the fuck off, because that's not something he's doing at the moment, and it's making Nico very frustrated. He's losing a bit of time to the Bartover, already 7 tenths behind the Williams driver, and 7 tenths in a sector, I mean, is quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, Blue Dark should be getting out of the way. That's, if I'm honest, that's horrific driving. And, you know, if I was watching it as well, and if that's something I could potentially put in as a commentator, I would do, because that's not good racing. Bit more racecraft certainly needed there from the guy that's taken over my race seat. So, come on, dude.
El Shakel, who's just made the overtake on Nico John, and now he's going to try and create a gap to his own teammate, the Bartover, who's running those medium tires, because Nico John will have the upper hand at the end of the race because of his hard tires. The Bartover, who still has to go on to 11 laps, on 11 laps, on these 9-lap-old medium tires, and they'll probably be dying off at the end of the race. So, what El Shakel is going to have to do, create some kind of gap between himself and the Bartover, trying to keep Nico John behind him for as long as possible, and then, you know, trying to hope for the best for the Williams team. Yeah, I mean, it might, yeah, you're right, it might be the time for Bartover to let Alshko go and just go and see what he can try and do. To be honest, I think Bartover's got pace over Alshko.
So it might be that they switch the positions back come the end of the race, but certainly let Alshikel go and see what he can do and bring to the party a bit further down the grid, shall we say, or a bit further up the grid. But I have a serious problem what's happened in that pit lane, because I think this has totally neutralised or screwed the race, as we should say, because there should be at least Jay Dennis and Bartofa and Alshikel up with Bobo and Zayed. I need to watch this back, because it's not a good situation, because through no fault of their own, there's a few guys that have majorly lost time through a pit stop glitch, which I've never seen before, if I'm honest. Cars being held in the pit lane, and if I'm honest, Bobo's been handed a win here. And, you know, it's not taking anything away from him, but I just don't think it's fair on the guys behind.
No, I memean, I agree. Nothing we can do about it at this point, right?
No, there isn't. There isn't. But at the same time, it's taken the fizz out of this race, because at the moment it's pretty neutralised. You know, we've got the two Williams battling, which Bartofa should be. Oh, Alshikel is through. So Alshikel is through on Bartofa. So Alshikel's going to see what he can do on those set of hards. But, you know, I don't like it when this happens, because this is now, in theory, become an unfair race.
All we can hope for is Zayed trying to catch up to Bobo, but as things are looking like right now, that is not going to be happening pretty soon. As I'm just going to have a quick look with Divine Iron readouts, as both of them been battling very heavily here already in Sector 1 and Sector 2, as they're heading into Sector 3 at the moment. And readouts will have the DRS coming into turn 15. Is that 15? 16? Not sure. Down the straight, they will have the DRS into the start-finish straight. I mean, how many times did I say straight in that sentence?
Yeah, a few.
Okay, down the straight. Oh, no, go ahead.
Nico John's got a bit of pace as well behind Ala Ritchie, so all of a sudden we saw earlier the two Mercedes were battling against each other, and it's Jay Dennis that's come out on top from that battle. I don't quite know how that's happened. Maybe Ala Ritchie got held in that pit incident which we saw. I'm going to keep coming back to it, because it's not made it as fair as it should do, and I think I don't know quite what the guys will do about this, but you know, it just doesn't seem right how this race has panned out, if I'm totally honest, and that's just my point of view. You know, I'm not saying they should be looking at it or that something's totally wrong, but from my point of view, from what I've seen, the race as it stands is not how it should be, and certainly not how it's not fair. It's just not fair. I'm sorry, but it's not.
Williams' team currently having a heated battle. It seems like the Bartofa is letting his own teammate go through again. Laura Ritchie having a heated battle with Nico John in P6 and P7. And at this point of the race, I would say Williams' team just have a battle with each other, because or have teamwork, just let each other pass down the straights or something like that, trying to create a gap to Laura Ritchie, because there's no defending going on at the moment. Laura Ritchie is 1.2 seconds behind. They're 4 seconds behind Jay Dennis. They're kind of a bit in no man's land, and
see, this is where we said earlier about the two Williams fighting, and this is the point where they shouldn't fight, because they're on the same lap old tyres. So what they need to do is work out who has the better pace on what tyre and let that person go. This is the time where they need to work together and work out what the strategy should be. But the trouble is, as they now switch positions again, but the trouble is what they do have is Bartova does have out-and-out pace over Al Shakal, I believe, but Al Shakal is now going to be on the better tyre come the end of the race. So what do they do?
Yeah, I would say Al Shakal in P4, the Bartova in P5.
Yeah, I would personally go the other way. See, this is what we've got. Commentators' point of views. You've got two commentators' point of views, and I think Bartova's got the pace over Al Shakal. If he can get out of that DRS, I think Bartova's got the pace, even on those set of mediums. But I'm just not happy what happened in that pit. That honestly, that's bugged me. I don't know why it's bugging me so much, but I just think that's totally unfair. It's handed Bobo the win and not taking anything away from Bobo, but it's made his race very, very, very easy, shall we say.
Here comes Nico John down the straight, making the overtake on Oliver Ritchie with the use of DRS though, but I think Oliver Ritchie would have had the DRS from the Haas driver too. Brass Monkeys, who's not in his car, Al Shakal making the overtake on his own teammate, and this is possibly where we're going to be seeing the medium tires get a bit slower. Oh, and I think the Red Bull driver has learned something from our little explanation which we gave before. He's letting them go through. Oh, that's AP. Ah, the smarter Red Bull of the two.
Yeah, AP. I've raced with AP. He's my old teammate. You know, obviously not the fastest of drivers, but certainly knows. Sorry, I got hiccups. Certainly knows how to race and let teammates through if they're certainly faster on track. That is for sure. We still have the two Williams guys they're either working together or they're fighting together. I can't quite work out how this is panning out tomorrow, how this would actually panning out, but certainly here we come now with Bartova taking Al Shakal. So yeah, maybe they're working together just to pull themselves out of that gap from the Mercedes behind, because they're not going to catch the gap to Jay Dennis. But yeah, just work together now then, lads. You know, if you want to do it, work together, get out of that DRS of Ala Ritchie, which they have actually now done, and yeah, just work together and solidify that P4 and P5.
Nico John on 18 lap old hard, still catching up with Olawa Ritchie. And I feel like 18 lap old hards, they're gonna start to struggle a little bit. We still have to go 4 more laps on those hard tires, so they will be on 22 lap old hards, 23 lap old hards actually. What's your opinion about coming into the pits that early? Not sure. Yeah, I think he came into the pits around lap 15.
Who are we talking about?
Nico John. Yeah.
Yeah, Nico John. Yeah, I mean, we've seen it. Guys can let the softs or can keep the softs going for laps on end. You know, pushing the boundaries of medium strategy. So the hards last really well around here. They don't degrade. You can still feel you can push on the hards. So I don't think Nico John's going to be struggling too much on those setups hards. To be honest, I think he's in a solid P7.
I think Tonhinga is a bit too late, guys. Look at that. Tonhinga being 1 hour and 15 minutes too late. Just joined the lobby. What a legend.
Yeah. Okay. Do you know what? If he can drive from now and take the race victory, I would run around Zandvoort in my underpants.
I would even do it without underpants.
There you go. Okay, we'll both do it without underpants. If Tonhinga can take the race win, come on, Tonhinga. Let's see what you can do.
No, not come on. I don't want to run without underpants.
Mate, I'll do it because you ain't gonna do it. Let's give me something to fight against. The two Williams guys. You know what? I think they're battling. I think they're battling for a bit of pride here within the team, and you know what? Let them battle. I'm not a fan of team orders. I don't like team orders unless there's massive strategy differences and let the car past. You know, different tyres. Totally get that. But if they're close on track, on the same ish strategies or the same wear of tyres, for example, let them bloody battle. You know, don't pull out living team strategies. I'm just looking, actually, Thomas, that
at Zayed, right?
Zayed, yeah. He's pulling that gap down to Bobo. Yeah, but he's on again. The tyres are one lap older, but he's certainly pulling that gap down. Here comes Shikau again on Bartofa, and I honestly, I think the Williams guys are just solidifying their position in P4 and P5, and they've done that. So fair play to them. But oh mate, honestly, that whole pit stop thing has bugged me. That's really eased me off because that has cost Jay Dennis a fight for the lead of this race, and that's just unfair. It's unfair, you know. My point of view.
I, by the way, know why Zayed is catching up so bad. I mean, so good. He is using all of his ERS, so he's got no ERS left, and Bobo has still got more than 50%. So.
Yeah, I see it. I've literally just watched it as well. Zayed's on 8% and Bobo's on 50, 55, 54 coming, 45 coming down the straight. So yeah, Bobo's got it covered. No, not gonna take the victory off of Bobo, of course, but I think it kind of been handed to him. Is this Bobo's first race victory? I think it is.
I don't think so. I think he won in Bahrain.
Did he?
Or Qatar. One of the sandy tracks. Oh, the Vinay coming into the pits? Oh, I think he's just letting everyone go through. Did El Shikal crash? El Shikal crashed! No way, what happened there?
No, Divine Eye's out. Divine Eye's out as well.
Yeah, he retired in the pit lane. He usually does that because he's not an actual... He's a reserve.
Out.
Oh, Waza too?
Waza's retired before the end of the pit.
No, I think Waza doesn't have any fuel left.
He's retired before the end of the pit straight. So
Waza? No, he doesn't have any fuel left.
He's ghosting on my screen.
He's ghosting. Yes, that's because he doesn't have any fuel left. Oh no!
He's out of fuel.
No, yeah, he's out of fuel.
Oh, he's out of fuel. How many positions is Waza gonna lose? He's now gonna lose to. There you go. He's now lost him down to P10. He's gonna lose to He's gonna lose to Starry as well. Starry's gonna catch him. Starry's gonna catch him.
Oh, and El Shikal also running out of fuel. Oh, that might be because... Yeah, I think they all anticipated on a safety car.
Oh, this is gonna be close. I know everyone's finished, but this is so close onwards to watching. Oh, there we go. Starry's got Waza. And that's it because Ishi got lapped. So that's it. Starry's nicked an extra point off of Waza, who's run out of fuel. But again, Thomas, I need to go back to that pit lane because I think that's neutralised the race and it's cost Jay Dennis, and it's certainly cost Jay Dennis, and it has cost Bartofa as well. even Ala Ritchie for a shout of that fight. So, although that's happened, it has been a great race. Bobo is a little bit lucky, if I'm honest. Zayed, yeah. I mean, you can't grumble with that. Zayed for driver of the day. Cracking drive. Hasn't been majorly consistent, but certainly consistent during this race. Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't make a last to first work, but he did definitely make a last to second work. He's my driver of the day too. I do have to say that. Jay Dennis also a very good drive, as you said. Unfortunate about the safety car incident. Also, the Bartolfo dropping from P1 to P4 is quite of a bummer for him, and he actually lost a lot of time to Jay Dennis during that stint, that last stint. So I would say
he was actually caught in that pit lane thing. So Jay Dennis and the other lads were caught in the pit lane, and I don't think it let him out the pits. So it was bizarre. I was trying to watch it, and there was 3 cars stacked within the pit lane, almost as if they were trying to do a almost like a practice start, like a burnout start, preparing to go out for a hot lap or whatever. They were just sat there, and yeah, I don't know. I don't quite know how that's going to pan out, but I don't think there's an awful lot that can be done, if I'm honest. So I think, as we see it now, is our standards for tonight's race.
Without post-race penalties, of course. But
of course,
fastest lap also goes to Ziad. And we've already looked at the standings. We weren't able to go through them, but that doesn't matter too much. The guys can see them for themselves. And I think I'm going to finish off the live stream here because it's getting quite late already for me, and I need to do something real quick. So, Ali House, thank you very much for being the commentator with me today.
Shut your door. It's already shut. I'm joking.
Oh, I'm so confused right now.
Shut your door.
Do
you remember your door that always?
Oh yeah. No. My dad reminded me. My dad reminded me that I had to do it before.
I'm joking. I'm playing with you.
With you. Thank you very much
for tonight, Thomas.
Yeah, mate. You too. You were amazing.
As you are always, dude.
Thanks, amazing. Well, thanks, amazing. That doesn't even make sense. I wanted to say thank you very much. Yeah, it doesn't matter. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching the live stream. I love you too, mate. Thank you very much for watching the live stream. I hope you guys have enjoyed this as much as we did. It was an interesting race. It was an interesting safety car situation, but that is not gonna ruin our night. Only the guys who got involved into the incident, that might ruin their night. But for now, it is gonna be Ali House and VB Thomas as your commentators. Guys, see you guys next week. Ali, probably see you next week too. And this is gonna be us out. Peace out, guys.
Hello for now.